So here I want to talk a little. So here is my cover page of my GPS website. So here I have my banner, my abstract, and my table of contents. I used HTML and CSS to stylize some of the wording in the text, talking about the GPS and an individual's location, and also the GPS in terms of the position of the individual at any given time. So as I move to the second page of my website, which is the purpose page, I again centered um, this page, so I was able to talk a little bit about the purpose of the GPS. The purpose of the GPS is able to get a user from one given location to their desired location. And this prompt is indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intended purpose, such as the problem that the innovation solved, the opportunity that the innovation created, or the discovery that the innovation made possible. So you can see with these two images, using HTML and CSS, I did a little margin and some padding on both sides so that the text of prompt A wouldn't come in contact with both of these images. So for prompt A, the GPS is obviously the name of my innovation. And for this innovation, the intended purpose is supposed to allow the user of the GPS to set a desired destination, and the GPS system will guide the user through directions and turns and the route that the user is supposed to follow in order to get to their intended destination. So here's a video on how a user can use GPS to get to their desired destination.
How do you feel about the impact of the GPS?
I feel that the GPS in today's world and society is very useful. In today's world, you can purchase a GPS for a very reasonable price, and in terms of GPS and navigation being useful, you can use it to get to your destination.
Awesome. So I'm able to get the bacon stromboli. Awesome. Sounds good. You know, I don't know how to get the Roadhouse. Let me use my GPS. Oh, look. Right there. See, I was able to use my GPS and navigation to help get to my destination faster. And now, I'm ready to enjoy the bacon stromboli.
So you can see this video demonstrates how a user can use GPS to get to their desired location. Now, moving on to the next page of my website, which is the impacts page. Prompt B says, explain a benefit or harmful effect of the innovation. So a benefit of the GPS is that it's very convenient and very easy to use. So it's very simple to navigate. It tells you, it's pretty simple as a GPS tells you the direction you're going, and it tells you the route in which you're supposed to take in order to get to your desired location. Excuse me. Another benefit of the GPS is that it's a relatively low initial cost, and with this low cost, it allows for other devices to be integrated into the GPS. What I'm trying to say here is that the smartphone GPS allows users to get on a simple direction and route, and the GPS is able to guide the user in order to get to its destination. A harmful effect of the GPS, on the other hand, is that when the GPS is receiving signals to provide its route for the user, if there's buildings or objects in the way of the signal's path from nearby radio or cell towers, it will block and impede the signal of the GPS. So it's very, and because of that, it's very inconvenient for the user when this happens. So Prompt C says, explain the impact that the innovation has had on society, economy, and or culture. So the GPS has impacted businesses because it's able to allow businesses to be more successful in the long and short run. An example would be like Amazon putting GPS tracking on their vehicles to provide the user of knowing where their package is on Amazon's vehicle truck. The impact on society for the GPS, it's simply changed the way we interact with one another, connect with one another, and how we live. This is able to, the GPS is able to allow users to get to its destination. And because of this, it has moved the focus of taking like a map to find your destination, and now in today's world, you're able to use a dedicated GPS or a smartphone GPS to find your destination quicker. The impact the GPS has had on the culture is that if you know how to use the technology of the GPS, it provides a very important skill set for kids and teens and adults who know how to use that technology. It's able to help them with a skill set that helps them in the long run in terms of future like job opportunities. Prompt D says, excuse me, before we move on to Prompt D, well, I just want to show this graph on how GPS has increased over a period of time from over a very recent period of time. And I also want to show how this image right here, this Garmin GPS, is a brand of a dedicated GPS that users use. So Prompt D says, explain one field other than computer science which this innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact. So GPS, besides in computer science, GPS impacts the field of work in terms of transportation through the air and sky. So this impacts transportation through air because GPS is installed in like airplanes and through the cell towers on like the cell and radio towers near the runway. The GPS installed in the cell towers provides a signal to the airplane, which helps the airplane determine the runway location. So without GPS installed with the cell and radio towers, it'd be very difficult for airplanes to land on a specific runway. And moving on to the next page is my technical aspect. Now, moving on to my technical aspects page of this website, I want to talk a little bit about the HTML and using CSS to style these fonts and text in different ways, for like the color white here, for the answers, and like a black and bolded description for the prompts. So for Prompt E, describe how a user interacts with the innovation. So a user uses GPS in order to, the user and the GPS have to be on the same page in order for the GPS to provide, have to be on the same page in order to provide a desired destination. So when we look at, so here I want to talk about how PromptE describe how a user interacts with the innovation. So the user and the GPS have a relationship together in order for the GPS in order to work correctly. So the user must enter their desired location, and from there, the GPS accepts the desired location and starts to make a route and directions for the user to follow. As the GPS makes the route, the GPS uses signals from radio and cell towers to come up with the correct route for the user to follow. As the user starts on the GPS's route and follows the directions and turns that the GPS provided, the user should follow this provided route by the GPS. And if they follow it correctly, the user should get to their destination, desired destination quicker. So prompt F, I want to talk about, it says, describe in detail how the innovations technologies incorporate at least one of the big ideas. So the GPS incorporates programming into its many uses. So GPS and programming allows for the user to save multiple locations. So like take, for example, your home, your school, or your work location. They're able to save that, and the user can access the saved locations through the programming of the GPS, and from there they're able to use it in order to get to their desired destination. Now, moving in to the data page, prompt G says, describe how the innovation consumes data, produces data, and or transforms data. So the GPS and the user each have a part in this. So the user has the input data and the GPS has the output data. As the user puts in the input data, the GPS tries to transform the input data while taking near cell and radio tower signals. They try and transform the input data, and from there they're able to the GPS is able to generate the desired output data, which the output data is the desired destination. Prompt F says, describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, and one or data security concern related to the innovation. So the GPS has a lot of positive and valuable uses, but the GPS does in fact have a data privacy concern. When using the GPS product, the user and the user's location is always known at all times. So that means that the user's location is known at all times, and therefore creates a privacy issue while using the GPS product. Now, if you look, moving on to the next page, these are my references. So for this reference, Go Golf GPS, this would be the most valuable source I got out of this, because it talks about how GPS is now used on a golf cart for golfers while golfing. So this GPS determines the location to like the middle of the green, and it also tells you the distance to the middle of the green. It also tells you the distance, like if you're trying to carry a bunker and you don't want to hit it into the sand, it'll tell you the distance, and from there, based on the distance that the GPS gives you, you can select your club and try and hit that correct distance. Now, for this, for all these pages, I did CSS styling for buttons. So I have a previous, a home, and a next button. And if you want to look at my if you want to look at the end of this, so this concludes my GPS website video, and yeah, enjoy. Thank you.